Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. In the translation of that message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? I'm a young Zimbabwean woman and currently I am staying here in South Africa, but I recently came to South Africa. All this time, I was staying back home in Zim and I have been working as a maid. I want to confess to you that even though I am working as a maid, but I am on a mission. The mission was given to me by this other traditional healer that I met when I started working in this other plot. So this is what happened for me to end up meeting with that traditional healer, who then gave me a mission so that each and every time when I'll be working for the people that I'll be working for, because I only work for people that will be having kids that are below the age of 3. It always happens that whenever I am looking for a job, and most of the times I don't even look for a job anyway, I just end up getting hired because this lady that assisted me, the traditional healer, she gave me some certain type of charms, and those charms, even if it happens that I meet any of your followers here on your platform, even if after they would have heard your story, by the end of the day they will tell you that I am already working for them because of the charms that I was given by the traditional healer when she gave me this mission. She said that she was going to give me some charms that will make people love me at all the times. Wherever I'll be the center of the attraction and everyone would want me to work for them, even though I'll end up hurting their kids and their children become sick because of me, and they will never even suspect that I'll be the reason as to why their kids will get so sick like that. You can call me Rudo, not your real name. I was born, it was in the year 1998, in a small village just outside the town of Gweru in Zimbabwe. My family, I was born into a very poor family. They were struggling. We struggled to afford anything. We could even not afford mealie meal. Sometimes we could go to bed hungry. So I had dreams of escaping poverty. Everyone in the village honestly thought that I was the one that was going to pull my family out of poverty, to chase away the spirit of poverty. But what happened was that even though I was an intelligent child, when I was in secondary school, all of a sudden, for no particular reason at all, I started to date men like no man's business, and then I forgot about everything. I never wanted to study anymore until when we wrote our final year exams when we were still in high school. My O-level results, when they came out, everyone in the village was so shocked because the results, they were so useless, like really useless. Everyone was surprised because they knew that I was someone that was very intelligent in school. So my only choice was to become a maid. I then went and I started working for this other woman by the age of 18. When I started working for this other woman, I then saw that the woman was mistreating me. I stopped working for that woman and then I worked for another lady as well in Gweru. So this lady then told me that she was going to take me to her plot because that is where I was supposed to work. I went to that plot. When I was at that plot, I then found out that at the farm's compound, there was another lady who was married to a Malawian man. So that lady and her husband, they were working as traditional healers. One could not even understand what exactly they did, because if people would come, then they would even wear the white garments and they would help them as if they were prophets from the white garment church. But people who wanted to be assisted using the African way, this couple will change and then they will become like traditional healers. So it was quite confusing for me, but they were making money at that compound. There are a lot of people that go there and they are always assisted by that traditional healer and her husband. It was always full of people and they were making so much money. It was more like a business. Them going to work, I think it was simply because they can just have somewhere to stay, but their money was coming from what they were doing, praying for people as well as giving people charms. I then went to that lady and I said, I see that you are assisting all of these people, and here I am suffering. My parents, they are suffering. I can't even send anything to my parents. Can you help me as well so that I can become rich? And she said that she was going to assist me, and the way that she was going to assist me, she was going to make sure that she will help me and I will never suffer in life. She said, I'll make sure that you will never suffer in life. I am going to give you a charm. I said, what type of a charm are you going to give to me? That was when she told me that the charm that she wanted to give to me, it was the type of a charm that will make people like me. People want to associate with me. Wherever I would go to, I'll be the center of attraction. Everyone would want to be close to me. And even if I'll do something wrong, that person will simply forgive me, no matter what I would have done. So I agreed. She asked me if I will be willing to use those charms. She asked me several times, but I kept on saying that I was willing to use those charms that she was going to give to me. And at the end, she then said, if you are going to accept these charms, there is one thing that you need to know. Once you start to use these charms, there is no reverse. You can never go back to what you used to be. You will always have to use these charms, and you are never supposed to feel sorry for anyone. Never feel pity manang for anyone. That is what she said, meaning never feel sorry, my child, for anyone after you would have used these charms. That night, I then went to bed after she had given me the charms. She said, these charms that I have given to you, they're going to take 3 days for them to mature, and then you can start using them. I said, it is okay. I returned back to my sleeping quarters. After 3 days, I found myself at her doorstep again. I wanted her to assist me. She asked me if I was ready, and I said yes. That was when she gave me a small horn. When she gave me that small horn, that was when I saw that inside there was some liquid, and she said, this oil that is inside, you mix it with these charms, but only use it if you are sure, if you want to go ahead with these rituals, because I can never reverse these rituals after you would have performed them. I said that I was ready, and I was ready to do it. And then I took that small horn that she had given to me, and she said, when you use them, I really do not know how are you going to use them, because the first time when you use them, this is what you are supposed to do. Within a couple of hours after you would have used them, then you are supposed to hold a baby, even if it is a newborn baby, in your arms. You have to rub this on your hands before touching a child. At this compound, do you have anyone who has a newborn baby? And I said no. So we were worried, because where were we going to get a newborn baby that we were going to use for these rituals? That was when I said, at this other farm, there is this other lady. She recently gave birth. But that woman asked me if I was friends with that lady from that other farm. And I said, no, we are not even friends. So what are we going to do? That was when she said, okay, in order for this woman, even though you are not friends, for her to allow you to hold her baby, you have to use these other charms. She then gave me the charms, and she said, when you go there to that farm, then you are supposed to use these charms. So that is what I did, Brother Nashi. As I was walking towards that farm, I then used the charms, and then I took that horn, and then I emptied all of that oil into my hands, and then I started rubbing and rubbing them. By the time that I arrived there, I saw the lady. She was there. I spoke with her, even though we were like strangers. We were not even friends, but I just approached her with such confidence, and then I told her that I wanted to hold her baby, and she had other things that she wanted to do. So she saw me as if I was someone that was already assisting her. She went indoors when she was busy doing her household chores whilst I was holding her baby. When I was left outside, when I made sure that no one was looking at me or watching me, that was when I started to rub that newborn baby's face. I kept on rubbing and rubbing and rubbing so as to weaken that child's spirit. And that child, it was as if it suspected that I was doing something quite evil, because it started crying and groaning like, And then the mom came out and she took the baby from me within a very short period of time. That was when I said that I needed to return back to work. She said it was fine. Then I returned back to the compound and I told that traditional healer everything that had happened, and she was happy. She then said, "My daughter, there is something that I have to tell you." I said, "What?" She then said, "Your madam boss, our boss, there is something about her that you need to know." I also gave her some charms. These are the charms that she uses in her business that you have to know. So these charms that she uses in her business, those charms, they do not go hand in hand with the charms that you are using. So those charms, they will start to fight against each other. What you are supposed to do is that you need to go and find another job. Go back to the city in Gweru. You are going to get a job. Do not even worry who is going to hire you. I'm going to make sure that you are going to get hired. So, Brother Nashi, I packed my bags and I went to Gweru within a very short period of time, like she had promised me. I then found a job in which that made me to be so happy that I had managed to get a job. So I started to have dreams, like I would have dreams that traditional healer would come to me and then she will say, "My child, I want you to take your madam boss's child and then you hold him or her in your arms and then you will start to rub his or her face. And after that, I will do exactly as I would have seen her telling me to do in the dreams." So when I was doing all of these things, I never knew that this was a way of connecting with these kids that I'll be taking care of. And after connecting with them, she will still their spirit. In time, that was when she made it known to me that as she is working as a traditional healer, sometimes she faces difficulties, so she has to use the spirits of these children since they are innocent and young. She takes their spirits, and she promised me that whenever you give me access to a child that is below 3 years, there are things that will happen to that child and you are not supposed to worry, because after they are 5 years or older, then they will recover. Because I started to notice that these kids that I would be taking care of, after doing those rituals, the kids, they will stop responding to their names. When I would have started working for the couple, the kid will even respond, even will be able to talk. But once I start to work there for the parents, when I will use that kid for the rituals, the baby will even stop smiling, staring blankly, and within weeks can no longer respond to his or her name and will have speech problems. And by the time that they would go with the child to the hospital, they will be told that their child has autism. This has happened at all the houses where I have worked. All of those kids, when I stop working for their parents, they will be having autism, they will be autistic. So that lady, when I confronted her about this issue of kids not being able to respond or not being able to talk anymore, soon after I would have started working for their parents. And then the lady told me not to worry, for they will recover. But what I have seen is that these kids, they do not even recover at all. They are always sick, even if I stop working for their parents. So coming here, I need help, because there is this other couple that I am working. Like what I told you, when she gave me those charms, she told me that these charms, the way that they work is that whenever I am around people, those people, they will even fire their own maids so that I can just come and work at their house. I will just find favor in the eyes of each and everyone that I'll be around. So, Brother Nashi, that is where I need help. I don't know if you know any other prophet or any traditional healer that can even send the charms that can help me to do a go back to sender, but I am scared to do a hard go back to sender. I just want a soft go back to sender so that the charms can return back to this lady, not to fight against her, because I will never want to fight with a traditional healer, for I do not know what kind of powers this traditional healer has. So I want a soft go back to sender, just to return back the charms that she gave to me, because right now as we are speaking, there is a couple that I am working for. This couple that I am working for, they are people that are okay. And just like that lady told me, in my life ever since I started working as a maid, I have never worked for someone who is not a millionaire. I am always working for people that are wealthy. And these people that I will be working for, they will end up hating their own kids and taking care of me as if I am their only daughter that they will be having in their home. So currently I am working for such a couple. This is what happened. When I came to South Africa in 2021, I had gotten a job offer from this other couple. They are from Zim. They are a middle class couple. They have been working here in South Africa for a very long time. We do go to the same church. It happened that they came back to Zim, and when they came to Zim, that was when we met at a big Sunday. The wife just looked at me and she told me that she liked me and she wanted me to work for her, and she was going to make sure that I will come to South Africa so that I can stay with them, for they had their 10-month-old baby. So they told me that already there was another South African woman who was working for them and they were going to fire her. The reason as to why they wanted to fire her, it was because they had met a maid like me, and that lady was demanding more money. So it was far much better for them to hire me. So that lady got fired and lost a job because of me, because of the charms that I used. And then I came to South Africa. From the very first day that I arrived here in South Africa, that was when I looked at the couple and I said, God, I do not want to do this to this couple, but I cannot stop myself, because as for that traditional healer, it is more like I am a zombie. Whenever she wants me to perform a ritual, even if I do not want to perform that ritual, I will end up performing that ritual because she forces me, because of the charms that she gave to me. As for their daughter, she is beautiful, always laughing. And whenever I look at her, I feel so sorry. And this couple, they are so good to me. They even sat with me down and they said, listen here, even though if we give you money, but you are a girl, you want to do what other girls will be doing with their money that they work hard for. You want to buy some lotions, your toiletries that you will be using, as well as good clothes. So we do not want to put too much pressure on you. So to relieve that pressure, this is what we are going to do. We will send your parents money so that your mom can start a business. If she starts a business, she will rely on herself them in Zim, and then she don't have to rely on you at all the times. And here you can have financial independence to do whatever that you want in your life without having any pressure at all. So this is the situation which I am facing. This couple, they are nice people and they are taking good care of me. The woman, let me say, she is working as a bank manager. The husband as a company. They trust me completely. They are never at home. They only come back home at night, and throughout the day I'll be responsible for their baby, and they trust me completely. So there was this other day, even though I did not want to perform that ritual, whenever I perform this ritual, it means that it has started. This woman, she would want to gain access to the child's spirit so that she can harvest the child's spirit and use it whenever she is having her clients that do consult at her shrine. So I woke up in the middle of the night when everyone was fast asleep. So what I do is that whenever I change this baby's diapers, when it is only urine, I will take it and I place it inside another bin. But if it is poop, in my spare bedroom, I have a small refuse bin. That is where I keep the diapers that I would have changed this little baby when she would have pooped. And then this is what I did. I have a clay pot. When I arrived here, this lady from Zim, she sent me those pictures and she said, this picture, I want you to go around, look for those that sell traditional stuff in town, and then show them the type of a clay pot that you want. So I went to this other man who sells traditional stuff in town here in the province where I am staying. And then I showed it to him and I said, this is the type of a clay pot that I want. And he said that he was going to help me and he was going to make it for me. And then I paid him. I went and I collected it. So I have this clay pot in my spare bedroom. Inside that clay pot, there is fire that is always burning. So I take the diapers, and after taking the diapers, I put it in there so that they can burn. Then I will take the ashes. When I am busy doing the laundry, I make sure that I put clothes that have bright colors to the side, those that have dark colors to the side, and those that have dark colors, the ones that are black in color, that belong to my madam boss and her husband, then I would wash them last. When I put them in the washing machine, then I will take those ashes that I would have burnt the diapers, and I will just sprinkle the ashes into the washing machine, and then I'll let the washing machine do its job. And after that, I will take them to the washing line to dry them, and then I will rewash them again. That is the ritual that I perform so that this traditional healer can have access to this child. I honestly do not want to do this. I don't know if there is anyone who can assist me because I do not want to hurt this child. When you post my story, please tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister right there. Strange things indeed they do happen. She was saying even in the complex where they are staying, there is another couple, a South African couple. So the lady always comes whenever your boss is not around. She will come to him and she will say, so why are you refusing my offer? Why don't you want to work for me? Look at how my child loves you. And she gets so angry at me, but she does not know that it is not because she likes me. It is because of the charms that were given to me by the traditional healer. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world.